welcome back to Mesh Talk, guys. I got a good one today. I am sitting down with the one and only Neeandra Brooks. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You look great.
Thank you, as do you.
Thank you, thank you. I wore orange for you, okay? Okay, first I need to break down how we met and why I needed to get her story. So we met at the Mesh launch event. You guys know, if you're tuning into Mesh, you know the purpose of Mesh, to collaborate, connect people. And she came to one of our events. We connected. I thought that she was amazing, loved her story, and we wanted to share it with you guys because we're all about sharing stories, helping, uplifting, and motivating people. And this is what we're doing today with you.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So there are like loads of career titles under your name. Songwriter, or not song, actress, model, dancer, rapper.
Yes.
First of all, didn't know you're a rapper. Like, didn't even know, like,
it's a surprise.
Like, and what type of rap are we giving? Are we giving like hardcore or like sexy?
Ooh,
like,
it varies. I'm just all about like girl power and just being like a boss chick. So it goes from fun to boss chick.
Okay,
that's like my forte. But I also sing. So it's just fun. Music's fun.
Okay, we're gonna get into this because I want to know like where it all came from. So born and raised in San Diego.
Yes.
And then came to LA shortly after, or when you adulthood, right, by yourself, or did you come with family?
No, so originally I started modeling in San Diego, and then I had a modeling opportunity pop up, and I just started commuting back and forth. So I was taking Greyhounds, any way that I can get to LA. That was how I did it. That's how I got my jobs. But eventually I had to make the move, right? So that's why I stayed.
Yeah. So I just want to know like family background in regards to like just creativity. Sounds like you're a very creative person. Like where does this like stem from? Mom, dad, sister, grandma? Who's this creative person?
No one.
So you're the start.
I might be. My mom was very, very, I want to say book smart. My dad was very street smart. I don't know where dance came from. I don't know where music came from. They just attached themselves to me.
Yeah. Well, then what was your first introduction to dance, music, and acting?
Ooh, so I want to say high school. I was definitely on cheer squad, dance team.
Yes.
Musical theater, everything creative. I loved it. So that was my early start. And then that just translated into my adulthood.
Okay. So... And then like your modeling was like the beginning of just like your introduction to LA, right?
Yes.
And then there's acting and all the other. How did you get introduced? How did you introduce yourself to those different careers in this place?
Yeah. So initially I was modeling in San Diego, just small stuff, fresh out of high school. And then a casting director saw me and offered me my first music video. So
that's cool.
And that was
where were you? Like how? No, break it down a little more.
So breaking it down, I literally fresh out of high school, probably my first semester at a JC. I decided to stay back. I got accepted to a school out in LA, but I decided to stay back and help mom. Literally a casting director saw me and was like, hey, I want you to submit to this project.
The dream. I just want to walk down the street and somebody tell me I need to be on their project. That's amazing.
Yeah, it happened that way. And it was literally the best opportunity. It was The Game, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, Wiz Khalifa. It was The Game celebration.
Big time hitters.
Big time. My first video ever.
Wow.
It worked out really
And what exactly did you do in the video, if you don't mind me asking?
I was literally a featured model, but they loved, like, Matt Alonzo was the director. Love him to this day. We're still really close.
Shout out to Matt.
Hey. Shout out to Matt. But yeah, he featured me a lot in that video. That was literally one of my best introductions into the game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Why do you think he featured you so much?
I don't know if it was my fresh face or my little bubbly person. I was so young, you guys. It was crazy. I don't know how.
But we still had the big curls and all the things. I think that's a signature for you.
That's my signature.
It's a signature for you for sure.
Yeah.
And the color has changed throughout.
Yeah.
So how do you come up with, like, when do you know, like, all right, I'm over this color? Like, how do we come up with the...
Well, look, okay, so I was like a bright red first.
Yes,
but like
we remember that, yes.
Yeah, now I'm like a fire orange.
We love it still. We love it. We love the colors. I think they look really, really good.
Yeah, I think I just needed something new.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of new, we're doing our music videos. That's new. After that, like, take us through the journey of your career.
Yeah, so So once I was doing music videos, I just kept getting more videos. As crazy it sounded. Yeah. So I did.
So people were contacting you, or you just through social media? We just need to know all the things.
It was through the casting director.
Okay.
Yeah. So
cool.
I literally just kept getting jobs. It
That's
was like
awesome.
Kendrick Lamar, Wiz Khalifa, Sean Kingston. I literally did so many videos within that short span of time, just growing my career, which is great. Like I wasn't saying no.
Right.
Which is good.
Because why? What's the point? I mean, if it makes sense and it's benefiting your career and it's not, making you look any certain way in a certain light, why not?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my next question is, we know the struggle in LA and financially, like, were you doing this all full time? Like, were there any like how are you surviving? I am from here. I'm from Pasadena to be exact, but I'm from here and I know that like it's expensive. So how are you surviving? Like, seriously?
So initially I was commuting. So I was in San Diego. I was still with mom. I was young.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I had a really good video, which was Chris Brown's Loyal video.
Yes.
That was really what made me stay.
This is like the elevator, right? I mean, the escalator and the dancing, right? I feel like that's the one. Is that the one? I'm not sure. Okay, let me just stop.
It was the escalator.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome.
So that was the video where things started to turn for me.
Okay.
That was probably, a really pivotal point in his career. And that's when I got a lot of traction, which is very good. Right. So people recognized me immediately from that video. Yeah. And coincidentally, I met a choreographer on set.
Awesome.
She saw me and she wanted to work with me and she had a girl group.
Okay.
So me being in that girl group was what made me stay in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was with, I was staying with friends. I was living the LA early, situation. You
Hollywood
live with friends.
Life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any situation. Under a certain age, I would hope, it's, But yes, I think that, and it probably was the most fun. Like,
it was
so much fun. I can imagine. It was so young and yes. Yeah. Okay. So as far as just that girl group, your role in the girl group, singing, rapping, writing, that all of it. Okay.
I was rapping. I was the rapper of the group. That's when I first started understanding what it takes to be in the studio, what it takes to, perform, because, the performance, aspect that I really had was in high school. Okay. So I was doing shows and practices and rehearsals and long hours. So that's what started it, which was great for me. And then post that is when I started dancing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so how was that transition and how were you able to find that balance? There's now we just added another task.
Yeah. Well, thankfully I had somebody, take me under their wing. I had a great mentor. She kind of got me signed to an agency, was like, hey, this is how you go to auditions. This is how you do things. So that is what kind of propelled me as well. I kind of got that training early on. So, after that, I was touring and I was doing music videos. Wow. I went on tour with Iggy Azalea, which is
amazing.
Great.
Yeah. So, I just want to go back to the mentorship.
Okay.
What is a mentor to you, right? Let's, because there are some people that have no idea what that is and how important that is.
Absolutely.
So, what is a mentor to you and why do you think it was very important for you to have that mentor?
I want to say a mentor is somebody who, I don't know if they early on just believe in you. That's what it was for me. I knew who I was, just solely, but they saw me in a different light, in a bigger light, that than I could have ever saw. So I needed that guidance. I needed that training to really, put me in these steps, in these places to get where I am today.
No, I love that. And I think that I think that we also don't know. My next question was going to be, did you even want a mentor? Were you looking for a mentor? Did you know?
I didn't know the term for it.
Okay.
But I knew I needed guidance. I knew what I've always been that person to kind of know what I wanted to do. Okay. I just didn't know how.
Okay. Got it.
That's where it definitely played a part.
Got it. Okay. So now we have our mentor. Now we've added on another skill and now we're working on that skill, mastering that skill. And then it turns into acting. I feel like, where does acting, so we've done dance, we've done, our modeling, but actual, actual acting, where does that fall in?
I think acting comes from one, I've always wanted to act for one, but I think it comes from music videos. Okay. Because it's always telling a story.
It's a character,
it's a character, it's a story, but then it also comes from, music as well, you're saying the words and you're acting the words. I think everything ties into each other.
For sure.
Performing, I agree. Acting, modeling, all of it's one.
Yeah.
it just comes from passion, just wanting to do it. Yeah.
So then we started with acting. What was like did we take acting classes? Like when we say acting, like what does that mean? What was that process for you?
So I definitely took classes. I have friends who are definitely in the industry, and you ask them like, hey, like I want to do this. I want to get into classes and stuff like that. So I had lots of friends just recommend me places to go, teachers to take, things of that sort. And then other half of it is being hungry.
Yes.
And letting
Okay. We're going to keep going.
Okay. But then it's also being hungry, just knowing like, hey, like I want to do this.
Right.
Can I do this?
Right. And just putting yourself in the environment to do it.
Exactly.
Okay. So what's the most recent acting gig or project you've done?
I did actually a film by Nick Cannon.
Awesome.
It's called She-Ball. It's out now on HBO's Max and other streaming platforms.
We'll make sure to drop that link for you guys so you can check it out. Okay.
Yeah. So that was my latest. That was my first speaking role. That was my first intro to the acting world and seeing how everything works.
Yeah, what was that like?
Amazing.
Like how many words? Like how did you memorize? Like how did you even get that opportunity?
Well, thankfully I was on Nick Cannon's sketch comedy show Wild and Out for consecutive 6 seasons. Yeah,
that's a long. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. Let's go there.
Rewind.
Yeah, let's rewind. So you're on Wild. That's like a really funny show. What was that like? How did that opportunity arise?
So when I was dancing and doing all of the things, I actually went to a party and I met a casting director for the show. Yes. And literally I had no expectations of what was going to happen with anything. I just knew that they liked me. I auditioned, and a year later I got the call like, hey, we've been watching you.
Oh, a year later. It's the seeds planted for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a year later. They're like, we've been watching you. We want you to audition. And I auditioned. And they were. And
you got it. And in 6 years. So what was that like? So, okay, because we've all seen, Wild and Out. Yeah. So I feel like there's some growth. That 6 years, I would hope that there's from where you started. And now, maybe we're saying, acting or not acting, but telling jokes and all the things like, what was that process? Where's the growth in that?
I was a Wild and Out girl.
Okay.
So I started, just on the sidelines, playing games and stuff like that. But they also took me under their wing and gave me other opportunities like the movie.
Okay.
And other things like that, whether it was touring and all of the great things.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When you went into the whole organization, and maybe you're not sure, but did you walk in and say, okay, this is where I'm at, but this is where I want to be? Or you know what I mean? Like, have you ever walked into an environment and you're like, oh, she's awesome. I'm pushing to be where she's at in the future. Was that an experience for you? As you said, there were different roles, you know, so.
I think that I knew I wanted to be the best me. And I knew that being on that platform was going to give me the exposure I needed to be that. So whether it was me performing to my best whenever the camera was on me or whenever
love that. Okay.
Yeah, that's literally all I would ever think about was just being the best me when that camera hit me.
Amazing. Love that. Okay, so then we're best versions of me got us into this acting opportunity. What was that like? Okay, did someone contact you and say, hey, we have this movie, or you knew? Like, how did you even get to the casting?
So for the movie, again, like I was saying, just being the best me, I want to say it happened on set of one of Nick's videos. Okay. I was a lead girl for one of his videos. Okay. It was a project, just a smaller project that he had, like just one of those like regular days. Okay. And he mentioned it. And I was like, He's like, yeah, I have this movie. I was like, okay, well, I've been taking classes.
I'm writing this movie, or I have this project and I'm a part of it. Like, what?
It was his. It's written, directed, produced.
Amazing. Okay, Nick, we see you.
Yeah.
We see you.
Yeah, he did really good.
Awesome.
It was amazing. He put everybody from the show in the movie.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's what I like to see. But
yeah, I told him, I was like, hey, I've been taking classes. Yeah. I was like, can I get a line? He was like, you want a line? I was like, I want a line.
Wow. Okay, so talk us through the cast. So did you have to actually cast for this, or did you automatically get it based on your work from Wild and Out?
It was based on my work.
Awesome. Yeah. So you went in, this is the role. So what did that look like? Here's a book and here's your lines, read them, learn them? Like what, because for people that have no idea, what does that process look like?
For me, it was a little different just because I was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So literally I walked in there and Nick was like, this is your role. You're going to be a basketball player, but you're going to be, a bottle waitress by night.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. And then I got my lines.
Okay.
And that
was
it.
How many lines are we talking?
It was a short, quick little something.
But still, it's the beginning. Do you remember the line, though?
Yes.
What's the line?
Oh, my gosh.
Set up the environment for us?
Literally, it was us in the club. One of the lead characters, the main character, she was, transitioning. She just lost her job.
Okay.
And she was working with us.
Okay.
The girl she kind of despised at the time.
Okay.
And now she had to work with us. And, I was kind of like the lead bottle girl, kind of letting her know, like, there's ballers in here.
Yeah.
Like, shape up.
Okay.
It was quick.
But that was the beginning, right? And you said it on, it was still like a scene.
It was a scene.
So now, I know that feeling makes you feel. For me, when I think about this, is an accomplishment for you, regardless of if it's 2 lines, 3 lines. This is you didn't have these lines in the beginning, and now these are lines, and I feel like you're going to continue to. That's a high that I feel like you're going to continue to chase. So what is next? After that?
What's next? I am literally, as we speak, self-tapes, auditions, everything. I want to do sitcoms. I want to do Power. I want to do all of Grownish. I literally want to do everything.
Yeah.
So I'm literally just trying to find my way in.
And so what does that look like? Finding your way in? What does that really look like for you?
Being hungry, not being complacent.
Yeah.
Literally just kind of forcing myself to be put into that space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love. Yeah. I did not know. We didn't know each other like that, but wow, what a great story. This is awesome. Okay, so now I want to know what advice that you would give you literally left your environment, and I feel like there are so many, your home environment, San Diego, comfort zone, on top of family didn't come with you. No one came with you, from my understanding. Yeah. So how do you think that, how, I want to go back to just that feeling, were there tears? No. Were you excited? What was that feeling like?
I wasn't scared.
You weren't scared. You were ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I think I've always had this in me. I've always had this passion. I've always known from a young age that this is what I wanted.
Okay.
I didn't know how. I didn't know when. I just knew if I heard the voice to say go or jump, that I just jumped.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you can hear that voice, because a lot of people don't know that there's a voice that you really do hear.
Yeah.
You gotta follow it.
Literally.
Yeah.
Jump.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so, we became friends, right? And then I was just looking at your social media, and I'm like, is she in Dubai? I live in Qatar, for those who don't know. It was a 20-minute flight from Dubai. Born and raised in Pasadena, but life calls you to different, locations. And so Qatar is where I reside. And what were you doing in Dubai, and why didn't you contact me? I don't think you knew that I lived in Qatar. Did you know I lived in Qatar?
I didn't know.
Okay. So
when you messaged me, I was like, I'm already on the plane.
Yes. Yeah.
No, so I'm actually, fast forward to present day.
Yes.
I'm touring with DaBaby.
What the heck? How did we get there? That's amazing.
That's a whole story.
But we got time. We got 15 minutes. We got time. What is the story? How did that happen?
Okay, so you want to hear it from the top?
Yes.
Okay, so, I want to say after music,
the
pandemic hit. So the dance industry shut down. My, music situation, I was working that out. Didn't really have any, definite answers. So I was literally taking any work that I could get.
Right.
So in that time, I got a message from a choreographer, and she was like, hey, are you available? I have this, project, da-da-da-da. She didn't tell me what it was. I just said, yeah, I'm available.
Exactly, because we're trying to eat. So.
Exactly. Hungry. So I get the email, and it's DaBaby BET Awards.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Definitely could do that.
So that was my introduction into working with DaBaby and their team. And after that, my second project with them was a lead girl position.
Wow.
So, and that one, probably my favorite video to date, actually.
Okay.
Just gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm acting, I'm dancing, all of the things, and it's, you know, it's a spotlight.
Right.
So that is literally how we began our working relationship, which is amazing. So after that, I got the call for tour a couple months later.
Wow.
Yeah.
One door opens and leads to another.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we went on tour. It was a nationwide stretch, state to state, city to city. I did the tour bus.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
What? I mean, we don't need to be like all in the middle like that. But like, as far as like the mental strength that you need to have, like this is a different ball game than what you're used to. I'm assuming, right? Like,
no, absolutely.
You know, so how did you like stay strong? We're not saying spill tea or anything, but like, how do you spiritually stay there? Or, you know, I don't know if you're spiritual, but like,
absolutely
I don't know. Like that seems like that could be a bit rough. Like just not being home and your everyday routine. And so what was that like?
I'm like, no.
No, you're like, had the best time of my life.
The thing is, I'm just ready to go.
Yeah.
But it was different. Being out of my comfort.
Yeah.
But I think this industry and this job, it kind of prepares you to just go with the flow. Never expect, you know, too much. Not to say too much, but yeah, you just go with it. Yeah. So that's what tour, like basically rise to the occasion. Like no matter what's going on, rise to the occasion.
Right.
So that's one thing that I can say that touring has brought me, like being in that capacity and understanding like, okay, this is the real deal. Yeah. This is what it's like.
Honestly.
So it was great.
Yeah. Okay, like what is your mom saying? Like, Mom, look at your baby. Like, what is that like? Like, I'm sure that she's proud, but like I would just love to know a little more like, you know, what are these calls like? Do you call mom and say, hey, I got this? Or, you know, like what does that look like, that relationship? I call
mom and grandma.
Oh, okay.
They both are like, you're doing things we've never done before. Yeah. Like, are you excited? I'm like, I don't believe it's happening. They're like, well, believe it.
Right. This is your call. You're literally, and I don't know, I throughout this season, we've been talking about generational curses and things of that nature.
Talk about it.
You know, I don't know if that is a thing for you, like, right?
I think that's definitely it.
Yeah, I would love to just kind of like briefly talk about like just not what type of curses, you know, but like, do you feel like there are generational curses? As you're saying, like, oh, I never thought that, you know, I would be able, because I didn't see it and I didn't know that it was real, but now we're doing them. What does that feel like to be aware that, yes, we all got generational curses. Please don't think that you just walking around and you don't.
No.
But to be aware of them and to like change like your children and anyone that's like following you, like you're helping them believe, you know what I mean? So what do you feel like, how do you feel like that has impacted like just your career?
Ooh, breaking the generational curses. Yeah, I think that's where it comes from. That's where the drive comes from. That's where the ambition comes from. Just knowing that, not to say there's a way out, but there's a way out.
Yeah.
Like, it's not to say that, you know, my family isn't conventional or, you know, just those things that I thought kind of held me back. Yeah. They don't matter.
Right.
Because I have a goal. So that's
knowing
really
the goal.
it.
Knowing the goal, having a goal, knowing the goal, and like actually like walking in the goal, like purpose. So what do you think your purpose is? Like, you know, I know that we throw this word out and all the things, but like, what do you think, you know, your purpose is in your season? This could be a different season. In this season, right now, what do you think your purpose is?
To show that it can be done. Because I'm in no way like privileged. Like, come on. I literally come from just the humblest of beginnings. Like, I don't even talk about it.
Girl.
But literally the things that I've been able to accomplish, I've never would have imagined.
Right.
So I want people to see me and be like, she comes from San Diego.
Right.
Like, not to say the hood, I come from the hood.
Yeah.
Like, I come from Greyhounds. Yeah. Didn't have a car and eating Jack in the Box.
Yes. The sourdough, number 5.
You know.
I'm just saying.
You know, so, and not knowing, you know, when my next job will be and things like that. Like, it's not easy. Yeah. And in no way, shape, or form. But one thing I know is that you can't give up.
Right.
Because anytime you think that is when your next breakthrough comes.
Exactly. Holding on to that faith, which is kind of like, you know, the last thing I really wanted to touch on is there are so many people that are in your shoes in the sense of that maybe have not taken the leap of faith to move yet or have like what not suggesting, but what tips, like if this was like, if we had a guest of women that are just like listening to your story, what tips do you think that you would, you know, give them?
Tips. I would say
at least three tips. Yeah. We could go ahead and look at the camera. One? Yes.
Okay. 3 tips. Stay ready. So you don't have to get ready. Jump and follow your heart.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I think that when we do this, I feel like people are like, okay, and trying to come up with like this whole technical, and it's like, no, that is it. And that's what you did. That's exactly what you did. Yeah. So what is next? What's next? Yes, what's next? What's cooking?
Well, we are still touring,
right?
Which is great, but all the while I'm also working on music.
Awesome. I'm also rapping, singing, both. Okay.
Both. We're working on a intro project to who I am.
Awesome.
An EP.
Yes.
I would like to say. Working on that.
Okay.
And then, you know, still trying to chase acting.
Right.
So acting is definitely one of my loves. So yeah, both of those are happening.
Oh, yeah. This is awesome. Like, I mean, I didn't get to like chat. I mean, it's obvious. I can see your work and what you're doing, but just being able to hear your story and being able to relate is like absolutely amazing. I think that your story is relatable. Everyone's story should be relatable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone has a story, everyone has a journey. Yeah. And you being able to like share it, we really appreciate it.
Of course.
You know, I think that the purpose of Mesh is to connect. And I feel like you mentioned that so many times that a lot of your start, if it wasn't for the connections that you had, then you wouldn't be able, and not the connections like, oh, I got this person, he's hooking me up, she's hooking me up, but just the relationship and the network that you were able to build based on your experiences in the industry. And I think that a lot of people miss that. Yeah, you could be talented and you could look the part, but the connections and how you treat people and how you represent yourself in the industry is a big, you know, it plays a huge role because Nick and everyone else that you work with could have been like, no, like, because for whatever reason, but there's some type of connection that was made, energy-wise, work-wise, professionalism, the way you show up, like that says a lot. And I think that, you know, people should, you know, consider that when going into the industry.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It was great. It was great. And I'm sorry that we're like wrapping up. Like we're 3 minutes. Dang.
That's all we have.
We went by fast.
Yeah.
Okay. So let everyone know. I mean, we will drop your information, but like let everyone know where they can follow you and yeah.
Okay. Cool. You guys can follow me on Instagram at NickiiJean Brooks. Right there.
Yeah, we're going to make sure that's right there.
And then also on YouTube at NickiiJean Brooks as well.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. That's it. We are done.
Yes.
Listen, I think that we're always trying to like pull some key points and collaborating, networking, and like being respectful. Like it's just the small things, the small things that count. And I think that you building, you know, has been able to propel you into where you're at. And I'm excited to see where God pushes you, you know, in the future, because this is just the beginning. You've been doing it for quite some time, obviously, but like for the people that are watching you, we're just like, oh, wow, you know, she's been doing this for a while. But for you, you're just like, nope, I'm not where I want to be yet. So yeah, we don't give up. So guys, thank you for tuning in. You guys know the deal. If you are a creative or if you're looking to submit a creative, you can go to meshclctv.com. We want to hear from you, and stay tuned. Welcome to Mesh.
Mesh Talk is created and produced by The Mesh Collective.